how to find good bets in Metaverse NFT plays. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I'm Marco, this is Blockgems, and today we're going to cover a lot of ground, guys. So I want to start from the Rtfkt Clone X Mint Vial token, specifically because yesterday we saw a public sale for this specific project, and we had covered this topic already yesterday before the public sale. And what did I tell you yesterday? I said one of the worst strategies is to buy from the secondary market at the price point that was at the time on the secondary market before the public sale. And the price point was 3.5, 3.6 Ether at the time. So today, if you did buy from the secondary market back then, you're looking at a 1 Ether unrealized loss. And the reason why I said that, and I will state this again, is because during the public sale, you have the opportunity to see how the market is performing. You have the opportunity, first of all, to buy from the primary market that was at a price point that was lower than the secondary market to begin with. So I think that it was very important for us to clarify that point and say, wait a moment, don't buy from the secondary market, go and look what's going on in the public sale. Now, as a second point, there is something that I really feel compelled to state. And of course, guys, none of this is financial advice, but I'm telling you what I would do if I was super interested in this project. And I know that many of you are, because this is such a big project in the space and attracted a lot of attention. So one of the things that I would do if I wanted just an entry ticket in this collection, if I was not interested in participating into this sort of raffle, this sort of reveal that happens for these types of token, what I would do if I was just interested in holding any tokens from this collection is to wait for the reveal to occur. And the reason why I would wait for the reveal to occur is specifically because 8 out of 10 times when there is a reveal dynamic, when the project decides to create a pre-reveal token, which is a sort of veneer in front of the real token that you will get at the end, whenever this mechanics is in place, the floor tends to drop. This doesn't happen 10 out of 10 times, but if history is an indication of the future, in the vast majority of cases, what happens is that because there is a difference in price, of course, between the common tokens and the very rare tokens, by buying this one, you participate in this sort of raffle. And as this opportunity disappears, the opportunity of getting a rare one disappears, then the floor drops. So if your ambition is just to own one or any basically token from this collection, you're better off waiting for the reveal to occur. At least this is if history is an indication of the future. Could things go differently for this specific collection? Yes, of course it could, but in my opinion, it is more rational to wait. Now, with that being clear, I want to talk about specific Metaverse plays. And I want to start from a project that you guys know I cover over and over again, and this is the Sandbox. And I want to use this as an example to look at other plays later. Now, yesterday evening, I said this trade is way too risky for me. I wouldn't enter right now. And amongst the other reason is because so many whales kept on selling even yesterday. And if we go and look at the price difference between yesterday and today in terms of floor price, yesterday we were looking at a price point in terms of floor price, guys. We were looking at a price point of 3.5, 3.4 Ether. Today, we are at 2.98, basically at 3 Ether. This means that if you bought at the peak of the market yesterday, at the peak of the bull run, you will be looking at a loss of 0.5 Ether. And I caution you guys over and over again, don't enter right now. Stay on the sidelines because you could find better deals either later or elsewhere, meaning in other projects. And this is what I want to emphasize right now. Now, if you entered yesterday, you were looking at a loss of 0.5, but also there is another point. The downside is not capped at 0.5. You could keep on losing money, right? And this is why I always invite you to find bets that are still cheap where no one is looking. And I want to now guide you through the thought process that I use every single time. I will use some examples, some tokens as an example, and it doesn't mean you have to buy those tokens. It just means that this is the way you have to reason through the bets, or at least this is the way I use to reason through these bets, through my investment strategies. And you can copy it, but again, none of this is investment advice. You are taking your own risks, right? So if I decided to invest in NFT worlds, and by the way, I took a small position in this project, the maximum that I can lose is 0.27, but the upside is not capped. I could make multifold in this project. I could make 7, 10x. And I believe that it's easier to make a 10x in a project such as this one than in a project such as the Sandbox, because it has already done 10x from the bottom that it started from, say, 4 months ago, 5 months ago. So if we look also not just at the upside, but at the downside, here I could see a floor going back to 1 Ether. It is not likely, but it is in the realm of possibilities. Maybe it's going to be 1.5, maybe it's going to be 2, but the potential for downside is still very, very high. And if you enter right now buying the floor at 3 Ether, you're exposing yourself to that downside potential that could be 1 Ether of loss in a matter of 1 week or 2. If you're buying one of these projects forgotten by God and man, you are exposing yourself to a downside potential of 0.27. So this is the maximum amount of money that you can lose, but there is no limit to the amount of money you can make, right? Or virtually no limit, so to speak. Also, if this was just a project that has absolutely no volume, it would be particularly risky. But if we go and check the activity, we see that people keep on buying every day, right? This is a 10K collection, people keep on buying every day, and there is a little bit of more volume coming in. Also, the reason why I like this project is because of the narrative. Bear in mind, the narrative is worth mentioning up to a point, because I want to discuss my attitude toward the investment strategy in general. So I like this project for the reason of being a project in the metaverse space and not being under the spotlight such as the Sandbox, Illuvium, Decentraland. And so I also can speculate that as the upside potential disappears from these main projects such as Illuvium, such as Decentraland and Sandbox, some people will start taking bets into more adjacent spaces such as NFT worlds or other projects that have similar intents and purposes. So, but again, the narrative is worth mentioning up to a point, because at the end of the day, what I'm looking is how much money can I possibly lose. The maximum amount of money I can lose is 0.27. If I look at the Sandbox right now, the maximum amount of money I can possibly lose is 3 Ether, more realistically probably 2 or 1.5. So the downside here, the potential for downside here is lower. Here is a very fragile situation, because we discussed why in the video of the day before yesterday, and we've discussed it extensively why the situation is very fragile for the Sandbox, in my personal opinion, right now. But for other projects, this is not the case. There is just a lot of upside in front of them. And another interesting approach is the one, I took another position in World Wide Web land. And the reason why I took a position in here is it's a new project. There is a lot of volume for the age that the project has. The floor price is at 0.14. So how much money can I lose? Okay, 0.14. And if I lose this money, it is a loss, sure. If it's too illiquid for me to exit the position and I cannot recover any money, okay, it's a loss. But the downside is capped at 0.14. The downside is not capped at 0.14 if I buy one of these tokens. So there is also, of course, the narrative of the metaverse also here. The narrative of the gaming sphere in the NFT and blockchain space is also here. But the main idea is not around the narrative, guys. It's around finding bets that are similar in intents and purposes of the big guys, the big projects right now. that are still very, very cheap, that have a lot of upside potential in front of them, where the community is big, where they're trying to build the hype, and where there are volume, where people are buying. And of course, this is a super, super new project, so it is hard for us to speculate, but this is not the case for NFT worlds. And guys, what else? I hope that this video was informative for you. This is just for me to give you a strategy, an approach that I use for my bets. It doesn't mean that these projects will do well, but it means that I look for this type of projects when I'm seeking for new plays, new investments. And don't ever go chase a bubble. And I encourage you to never do that as well, because if you go chase a bubble, you are taking a lot of risk. Yes, you can make money, but you're taking a lot of risk for the rewards that you're after. So guys, thank you very much for your time. And if you like this kind of content, please remember to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. And also there is an amazing community in our Discord waiting for you, waiting for your alpha, your theories, your investment theories. And the link is in the description down below. So please join and help me grow this channel and this community. Thank you very much for your time, guys, and see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.